What's up, everyone? This is Troy from Glitchfeed, and I am here with the wonderful guys from Funhaus. How you guys doing?
Good. We're wonderful?
Yeah.
Well,
I'm good.
doing the best we can.
No more Joel.
What? So how's RTX been going for you guys so far?
Oh boy, so busy. So busy.
Absolutely.
I mean, like, it's just been nonstop for me, and I'm sure for all the other guys too. It's one of those things where I feel bad because I want to go to the booth over and over because I keep seeing a line around our booth, and I'm like, I'm going to sign everything for you. I'm going to sign it. But I can't because we have to do other things, like interviews and panels and stuff like that. And it's the best kind of busy for me.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, this is the busiest convention I think we as a group have ever done, with maybe one E3 as an exception. But like in terms of our responsibilities for panels and for going place to place, and also just getting stopped in the hallways, like it's totally new experience for us, and it's awesome and overwhelming at the same time.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is the busiest I think we've ever been at an organized event. Like, where work has been done correctly. Yeah. Like, where we've got all our ducks in a row, we've got our schedules and everything, and we're kind of like, yeah, we got a free hour. Nope. Yeah. Like, someone asked me yesterday, like, what'd you do with your free time yesterday? I was like, took a shower.
Actually, ate some food at some point.
Yeah. So I mean, it's been a fantastic show so far. I've been coming for 3 years now, and this is the biggest I've seen it, and it's getting better.
Only getting better.
Yeah.
Only getting better. So I want to talk to you guys. You guys have been you were with G4 for at least a little bit of time, or a long time, or a little bit of time rather.
Yeah.
I followed Attack the Show for a very long time, and X-Play, of course, and it was sad to see G4 go. Rest in peace. But as much as I can.
Well, I'll be honest, it was for the best.
Of course it was. So how have you seen news and game media and news media with gaming kind of evolve from TV into kind of the internet age?
Well, I mean, that's kind of what I was getting at when I was saying it was for the best,
Yeah.
because all the best talented people at G4, they were making good content. It just didn't belong on TV.
Right.
TV's the worst place. We have really cool, interesting news. Watch it when we tell you to.
Right.
No, I want to watch it when I want to watch it. That's the thing. That's why. I mean, the website's still up, right?
Barely.
Yeah, but I mean, more people are going to the website than they're going to watching the actual content.
Of course.
So that was, it freed people like Bruce and Joel to come over, and jump to a new media, which was at the time was Machinima, and now it's Funhaus. So.
Absolutely. So, and then obviously, then moving on to Machinima, how did you started Inside Gaming Daily there? How did you guys, evolve that project while you guys were under it?
I mean, like, Adam's been making it for years and years and years.
Right.
And it was one of those things where I think once Joel, Adam, me, and Lawrence all got together, we kind of found a voice that seemed to work for all of us, where we all knew we had a lot to talk about when it came to video games, but the news show took about 6 months to evolve into that voice. And I think my personal goal with the show, when I was on it and worked on it, and I'm still, obviously still working on the know, is I want it to be like the Daily Show, but for video games.
Yeah.
And that was always my goal. I hope it's getting there. I know it's not there yet, but I hope it's
Pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, just to go back to G4 and then bring it all the way through Machinima to the know, which is where we are now. We all came, like you said, from TV backgrounds, working with a lot of people who worked in traditional media, all the magazines and actual journalists, and so we sort of see like people try to apply journalistic standards to a lot of what games reporting was trying to convey, and kind of how worthless that ended up being. I mean, the thing we have to keep in mind is what we're reporting on, not just the fact that it's news, but like what the news is about. And it for us, like we have to remind ourselves, like, it's a hobby, it's a pastime, and the best medium for that, in our opinion at least, is totally digital media, because we're allowed to be a little bit more opinionated. We're allowed to say, like, guys, like, interact with the audience in a way that I think newscasters and serious journalists aren't really allowed to do.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, also, not to mention, it started with blogs, with like the rise of things like Joystick and Kotaku and stuff, where that's where all the news was like, wow, we can get these press releases right away and talk about them and put this information stamp on there, and that's going away. And because I think you have a lot of guys like me who clearly have a learning disability and have a hard time reading words, because it all just bleeds together for some reason and kind of just becomes numbers and weird screwdriver shapes. So you end up wanting to go to something visual. You want you want video, and that's ultimately what it is. And you want it to be, at least what we're going for, we want it delivered in a tone that isn't so much like you feel like you're being talked down to. It's sort of like, hey, I'm your buddy, let's just talk about news because it's about video games. It's not super serious. But at the same time, we know this is interesting, so we'll have a little bit of a serious tone, but at the same time, like, let's make it fun and interesting.
Sure, and you put a personal spin on a lot of the news. Like you're saying, it's you report what the story is, but then you also offer your opinion on it and how you feel about it.
That's one. I mean, that's one of the things that really differentiates YouTube, I think, from either from TV or radio or something like that, is that it's such a personality-driven medium, and we were trying to apply this sort of TV template to what we were, I think, initially doing with Inside Gaming or almost anything on the internet. I mean, you can still see a lot of people trying to really rigidly apply these things that they know how to produce to digital media, which they don't know how it works. And what we learned being at Machinima for so long is that it's really so heavily personality-driven. And why would anyone want to watch a boring news show if the personalities aren't interesting? So we can make boring news palatable, I think, by putting our spin on it, by having people that the audience actually wants to watch, as opposed to just saying, like, here is a press release that we are reading back to you.
Right, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just going to say, I mean, like, in terms of, like, evolving the games journalism side of things, too, just recently we've had a lot of interesting stories that we've had to start doing journalistic work, and it's kind of interesting because we all know we have standards there at the office, and people aren't used to seeing that on the internet. They're not used to seeing that on YouTube, where, like, you know, they're like, oh, you guys are liars, you're just sitting in a room making this stuff up. I mean, that would be really, I know, right? It would
be a lot easier.
It'd also be, like, it's pretty difficult to make up some of these stories that we're reporting on. So I think that's a sort of another interesting evolutionary step of this that the Daily Show also made, in the sense that they started affecting decisions, they started affecting campaigns, and we may be affecting, you know, certain games development and what corporations and companies do. It's a really, like, again, it's kind of a humbling role for us to be in, because I don't think we ever thought we'd get to that point. I know we always wanted to. I always wanted to, but it's just an interesting place to be in.
Absolutely. So really quick, you mentioned your more recent stories. Obviously, we couldn't go without mentioning the Half-Life 3 story and the Dark Souls. I think it was a small one.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Got a little bit of a buzz. But talk about kind of your process with those. You said you're evolving more into actual journalism to get those done. Walk us through some of that timeline a little bit.
Well, we usually get these emails from, it's like anonymous@aol.com, and they always have really interesting things to say. It's mind-blowing. Bruce actually knows more about this.
Oh, no. I mean, it's funny because that's when we say anonymous sources, this is something we have to clarify. They are not anonymous to us.
Right.
They are anonymous to the viewer. And that's important to note, because that's the way all of journalism works. It turns out, like the sources that the Wall Street Journal have and other, like, reputable news sources have, they're not anonymous to those guys. They've known them for 40, 50 years. And that's the position that we're in, because, again, all the experience that we have here in that office, we know a lot of people in the games industry, and if they happen to want to, like, sort of be like, oh, well, this is happening, or this might happen, or whatever, then that's something that we have to decide. Okay, are we going to report on that or not? We fact check it. We usually try and get, again, you're supposed to get 2 sources.
Classic journalism.
Yep, yeah. Classic journalism, and that's what we try and do. And another really important part of this whole thing is that we have to remember these are video games.
Right.
So we're not affecting world politics. We're not affecting those sorts of things. Like these are video games. So it's not like there isn't the same sort of thing at stake that there is with wars and things like that.
But what is at stake is, like, our sources' jobs. So of course, like, when we do use our sources, we want to make sure that we don't. You were talking about this a bit in the No panel. We don't want to appease the audience at the risk of losing some of these people, their jobs and their livelihoods and stuff like that.
Yeah. Right. Well, I was gonna say too. Just the Half-Life thing has been a very interesting experience, because I mean that's given us a really eye-opening look just into the game industry as well. Like, it opened up a conversation with us with Laidlaw, Mark Laidlaw. We'd never reached out to him because we're kind of like, he wasn't involved with the story. Someone else got him involved with the story, and so Bruce reached out to him. And we've been talking to him, and it's like, it's really kind of fascinating to, like, hear his side of, like, how games are written. Or like, we're kind of like, we didn't know that. That's really cool. Yeah. We're not game developers. We're just kind of reporting what's being given to us. But, like, that right there, I'm like, that kind of makes this job a lot of fun. Yeah. We get to, like, learn things that I don't think a lot of people know. So that's fun.
Yeah, if nothing else, you've gained another source. You've gained, just to build on the.
Yeah, we're like, Mark Laidlaw says, Gabe Newell said, like, I mean, yeah, we don't want to just.
We can't do that.
Yeah, we're not doing, like,
No.
He said, she said. Yeah.
Well, that's good. And really quick, you guys have obviously branched into the gaming, the comedy, the Let's Play videos. How do you balance the news and keeping yourself reputable at least a little bit with the industry while maintaining the fun of the whole experience?
I've thought about that, where it's like, we're on one side, we're like, hey, you need to take us serious because we broke this story, it's really good. Oh, here's a Flash game where Lara Croft's getting banged by a 12-foot dildo.
Right.
Journalism.
Well, hold on. Now, see that every human being has those sides, right? Every human being can be serious and can also be funny. They have a sense of humor, and that's sort of the way I look at this stuff. Is that like I don't know. Just all throughout my career, I take my job very seriously. I take what I do very seriously. So when I'm, I want to be professional. I want to do make the right steps and talk to the right people and make sure I'm, like not stepping on any toes. But at the same time, it's fun. Like
Right.
I'm having a good time, and I want to be loose and casual and things like that. Like I don't need to be super rigid for the sake of being rigid. So there are two sides to every person, just like there are two sides to Funhaus. No.
Of course.
I also think we balance the professionalism side and the comedy side by basically reporting on news that ends up being correct or insightful or that people can trust. We can have as much fun as we want with a story, and if it sucks and we're wrong and it's dumb, then people are going to stop paying attention to us, which is a risk we run when we report on games that haven't been necessarily released or news that has been released, like the Silent Hills rumor that we reported on.
Right.
But our track record, I think, speaks for itself. Going all the way back to Inside Gaming, where we reported on a lot of stuff that came to be that people said at the time is absurd, like a Connectless Xbox One that ended up being absolutely announced and sold much later. And
But everyone saw that coming.
yeah, of course, everyone's on the go. So, I mean, I think that's what balances it for us. It also honestly helps a little bit that our news is on the know and that most of our comedy is on
Right.
is on Funhaus.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys so much for taking the time to speak with us. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you guys.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much. Thanks, guys.